So this is a pretty cool car we have here. This is the Volkswagen ID EVERY1 that Volkswagen Group showed earlier this year. So this is smaller than the ID2 we've already made a video on. This is basically going to be the next generation of Volkswagen Up. This is going to be fully electric, and they are claiming that they're going to manage to get this at around 20,000 euros. And that is a substantial cut under what the ID Polo is going to cost, starting at around 25,000 euros. And they say that this is going to come to market in 2027. So what they're saying is that this is going to be built on that same MEB Evo platform we've seen with the ID Polo, with the Cupra Raval, and that means front wheel drive. It means a very compact shape and a compact size, where, you know, the ID Polo is around 4 meters, 4.1 meters long. This is probably going to be under 4 meters. Also, you can see the charge port here on the front fascia, the front fender, as we saw with the ID Polo. This, for some reason, they don't have the lights illuminated because this is a concept. But you can see it's going to have some DRLs down there, and also a different light bar design, different headlight design than what we've seen with the ID Polo and the ID Cross. This is going to be a cheaper vehicle, so they're probably, you know, saving a little bit there. Also, you can see, you know, that rear three-quarter, that rear D-pillar, very reminiscent of that Volkswagen ID, no, not the ID Up, the Volkswagen Up they launched a few years ago. Also, door handles may be hidden, I'm not sure. But this is, again, just a concept. Pretty cool wheels, these 5-spoke designs. You can see the wheel arches with the graphics. Very reminiscent of that ID Polo we saw here in an earlier video. And then we have these rear lights mimicking the front light design. You have, you know, these half circles on the outside. You also have, you know, the vertical reflector down here. Very clean design. And also probably like the Volkswagen Up, this is going to be a rear glass that opens up this way. Again, to save money, where you're going to have one assembly for the rear opening, which is also the rear piece of glass. So I think this is a really cool design, and if they're able to come to market with this at 20,000 euros with a decent battery pack size at maybe 40-45 kilowatt hours usable, and get real world range, or maybe WLTP rated range of between 300 and 400 kilometers, I think that is going to be a car that fits the use case for a lot of people. So it's pretty cool to see if they come with this in 2027. We're going to see this, the Volkswagen ID EVERY1, and then we're going to see the ID Polo, and then the ID Cross. A lot of new, small, cheaper, inexpensive electric cars from Volkswagen Group, I think, is what people are waiting for. And if they do the same thing as they did with the Up, we're going to see a Seat version or a Cupra version, and then we're probably also going to see a Skoda version of this ID EVERY1. So this is an insane car we have here. This is the concept AMG GT XX, and this is special in more than just one way. First off, the specs are totally insane. 1,360 horsepower with a top speed of 360 kilometers an hour and a peak charge speed of close to 900 kilowatts. This is an insane concept that not only showcases the next generation of electric cars, but the next generation. But Mercedes just set a new world record with this around Nardo, going more than 40,000 kilometers, the circumference of the Earth, in 7 days with charging, which is completely bonkers insane. So if this ever comes to market, it's going to be one expensive car, but it's also one very special car. Just see how low this thing sits. It's so slippery with a drag coefficient of 0.19 CD. It's so lightweight that they have the Mercedes badge, Alphartebach, the AMG badging, in as a sticker, which is pretty insane. So you have the Mercedes logo down there, you have the grille down there, and also you have this light bar design that goes around the front grille, which I really, really like. And the fact that I have to bend it down so far just really showcases how low this car is. And then you have some insane hood scoops over here, which is for aerodynamics. I'm guessing that this creates downforce on the front end. It is just a really, really cool and insane car. So from this side, you can see that this is absolutely something special. Just look how low that front nose is. I really like, you know, the headlight design from this angle. And also it has some insane carbon fiber covered aero wheels. These 5-spoke design with carbon fiber inlays, AMG badging there. You can also see that front splitter and, you know, that air duct on the side. It has, you know, pretty cool AMG badging there with, you know, the carbon fiber. It is just a very special looking car. It is so super low. How the thing, you know, just continues. It's 5.2 meters long. So this is a very long car, but it has to be because of that long tail design. It means it has great aerodynamic values. 0.19 CD, as I said earlier. It's just a very special looking thing. And even though it is on a platform, you're still towering over this car. It is such an insane looking thing. This is such an insane looking car. When you get it in profile, you can see how long and low it is. And if I stand here on the platform, you can really see how low this thing is. It is pretty insane. Just look at that rear end, how it swoops over. You have the charge port there. And again, you have these insane AMG wheels. Unfortunately, the car is tucked into this corner, so we're not able to see it from behind. I'm going to overlay some B-roll of what the rear looks like, but I can tell you that it does look pretty insane, this rear end. If you stick the camera in there, it is one of the most attractive and insane looking rear ends of any electric car I've seen ever. And also you see the pop-out spoiler there, and also it does not have a rear window, which is just okay. We've seen that before with the Polestar 4, but this looks nothing like a Polestar 4. This is an insane looking car. And please, Mercedes, if you ever bring this to market, yeah, please just bring it to market. It's such a cool thing to just build and make. So this is a pretty insane electric car we have here. We don't know if this is to Europe, but this is the Xiaomi U7 Max, the high performance, and it just looks pretty cool. Yes, they have copied and stolen and got inspiration from the Ferrari Purosangue, which isn't a bad place to get inspiration. It looks pretty cool in the flesh, and this is, you know, the SUV version of the SU7 we saw launched a few years ago, which I have seen the performance version in China. It looks pretty cool, but I think this is a more befitting vehicle to the market because this is an SUV around the same size as, yeah, you can say the Ferrari Purosangue or the Tesla Model Y. Pretty cool details, aero details here, you know, lacquered and painted wheel arches, these 5-spoke wheels, and also these pretty cool carbon fiber mirrors, which are in this frameless housing. Also, you have some air vents there on the hood, which is probably for, you know, down and to improve aerodynamics. And also, Andre, look at this. The door handles are hidden, but they're physical door handles. That is actually pretty cool. And also, you know, frameless mirrors with double glazing. And also the interior is pretty darn cool also. Really loving, you know, this gray leather with this purple finishing. It has a pretty cool steering wheel that is both in carbon fiber and with Alcantara. It is pretty nice and pretty sweet, this car. Also, maybe you could check out if it is spacious in the rear end. Not too bad. And also you have, you know, this tablet here, which you can remove, which does, you know, interior bits and stuff like that. You can do the reclining of the seats. Is there a switch here on the door? There we go. There's a switch here on the door there. And the seat does recline. Pretty nice. I mean, I'm really impressed by the material. So if you come closer here, Andre, you can see that it has, you know, this, maybe it's plastic, but it feels metal, but like leather covered seat back, even down here on, you know, the B pillar. Also the surrounding around the air vent here is, you know, aluminum and metal, and also these beautiful speaker grills. It is pretty impressive, you know, the interior quality. So the front cabin is pretty cool and insane. So it's just a normal U7, like screen-wise and interior-wise, but it has this insane steering wheel with carbon fiber up top. It has, you know, Alcantara, and also some of the nicest and clickiest buttons I've heard in a long time. It is just so nice. And also, if you point the camera up there, it has an insane projected screen, like we saw with the BMW iX3. So that's what that looks like inside a car. And that is actually pretty cool. That is something I can like because it's not a screen, but it's projected on the windshield. So it's like the best of both worlds. It's not a head-up display that gets in the way where you have to change your focal point. It is pretty cool. I like that. That is very, very creative. A really cool detail. So interior quality, pretty solid. I love this steering wheel. This is beautiful. And also the switch gear, all of that feels pretty darn solid. So from the rear, also inspiration from the Ferrari Purisangwa. I think it looks even better in the rear than it does in the front. But what's really curious is that this spoiler, though looking cool, isn't carbon fiber. So we have carbon fiber on the steering wheel, we have carbon fiber on the mirror housing, but not on this rear spoiler, which is a little bit weird. So here, U7 Max is the badging. Also you have the Chinese badging here. And the reason why Chinese cars have Chinese badging, it's mandatory by law, which is really weird. And the reason for that, well, there may be different reasons, but I asked last time I was in China, and they said, imagine that a car is in an accident, you're going to be able to identify what model it is, so you don't misidentify, and the car gets bad press wrongly. So that's just really, really interesting. So pretty cool from the rear. I like, this rear light design here and what it looks like, and also this purple paint color. So here we have maybe the highlight of the show for me at least. This is the new Porsche Cayenne, which hopefully I'm going to get to drive very soon. And the reason why this is so exciting is because I personally drive a Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, which I've had for almost 4 years at this point in time, because there is no better driving car, in my opinion, than the Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo. Even the Macan, in my opinion, isn't better. And I've driven all of them. I've even driven them here on the Autobahn in Germany. But this is very exciting because this is a large SUV and it just looks awesome. Even with all of this camo, it just looks really cool. And also, if you point the camera down there, this also has 11 kilowatt wireless charging, which maybe is going to be useful in the future, but it's very, very practical just to roll up with the car, have the car charged wirelessly. So that is really, really nice. So this car does have a lot of, camo. We have, the front end design here, which is Porsche's latest design language. So it's a modernization of what we've seen with the Taycan, and also it is bigger than the Macan. I think this new design language, even with all of this camo, I think it looks pretty darn attractive because the lines and the proportions, it is a large SUV, but it's still relatively low. As you guys can see, it's going to come in at below 1.7 meters in my estimation. This car probably also sits on air suspension and is down on a suspension, but you can probably also lower it even more to get even a better stance. And just look how wide the wheelbase is, just how long this car is. And I'm really liking the fact that it has normal door handles. I do like the door handles in my Taycan, but I think these door handles are better. So this is being built on the PPE platform, which is the same platform that underpins the Audi A6 e-tron, the Audi Q6 e-tron, and the Porsche Macan. But obviously, it is stretched. We're going to have a bigger battery pack here, and also we're going to have faster charging than all of those cars. So this is an exciting car. I really can't wait till this hits the market, because I just think even with the camo, it is such a good looking offering from Porsche. Okay guys, so that's what we have for today's video. And you may be wondering, Chris, why are you filming the outro in front of this big picture of the front of the GLC EQ? Well, the reason is they have one displayed here at the Messe, but it's like tucked into a corner and we couldn't even get in front of it to show you the car from the front. So I really don't understand what they are doing, some of these brands, why they are displaying the cars in such a poor manner where it's impossible to make any content. So hopefully I'm going to be going to the city, to the open space, and filming the car there. But that isn't before tomorrow. But I don't know, cross my fingers that we'll be able to get access to a car and that they have one on display where we can actually show the car from different angles, in opposition to the one they have here, which was only like visible to view in profile, and it was so busy. So that is today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.